think being comfortable with who we are, knowing who we are, to be able to appreciate that I am uniquely a woman. It doesn't matter that I have to be exactly the same as men, because women are unique.
So welcome to the Summit series of the Voices of Courage Asia, where we celebrate leaders, changemakers, and also visionaries that amplifies courage and also drive transformative impact. So I'm your host, Joanne Lee, and today in this special series, we will explore stories of resilience, leadership, and also the action that is taken to make lasting impact. And so today we have a guest, very special, who is a digital wellness educator, mental wellness coach, and also a leadership trainer who is dedicated to empowering families and youth. And with over 2 decades in public service, she has played key roles in education, media and technology, and shaping policies and also initiatives that impact communities. She now leads the SGFamilies, a movement committed to support parents in navigating the evolving digital landscape and fostering stronger families connections. So it's my pleasure to welcome Carol to the show. Carol, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. So, wow, your work in digital and mental wellness has been incredibly impactful. And so, for those of us who are not very familiar with you, maybe you could start by introducing yourself and share a little bit about your background.
Sure. I have 2 children. They are now 23 and 20. I've been married for 28 years. And for 20 years, I was in different parts of the Singapore Public Service. The bulk of it, I was actually in the Ministry of Education. As my children were growing up, I saw how things were changing in terms of technology development, how social media was developing, and how the gaming sector has changed. And about 8 years ago, I was very concerned about the rate of change. And so I left the public service and started a series of initiatives, including starting my own social enterprise, so that I would be able to have the flexibility to speak to different segments instead of speaking to like maybe a lot of people at one go or running campaigns. I now do things, go deeper with families and young people. And so it has been a very enriching 8 years.
Wow. Seems like, your work is very meaningful. And thank you so much for, coming out and then, giving back to the society is really amazing. So maybe, the way you blend education, technology and well-being aligns perfectly with our theme. This year's theme is Inspiring Courage for Transformative Impact. So what does Inspiring Courage for Transformative Impact means to you personally?
Yeah, so courage, I believe it's something that needs to come from within. It's not something that people would say you need to be courageous and then we can be courageous.
Yes.
But how does that internal kind of motivation, where does that come from? What motivates us to be transformed? So I believe firmly that it starts from a place of values, right? Out of that, then we see actually what is that thing that I can add value to the world. Right? And if I look at the world and scan and see that, if there are certain things that I'm able to offer to the world, but nobody is doing it somehow, is it because I think too much or is it because there is an opportunity? And if that opportunity somehow is scary, so in my case, I thought I would retire in public service. It would have been a very comfortable career. But because I saw the gap 8 years ago on how quickly technology is shifting and how the mental health of our young people is really not well, and now about 15 years from the time that iPhone was invented, Facebook, Instagram was invented, now we have a lot of more data to show us that actually we need to do a lot more for our next generation, and so that courage to do something, it might be something that other people are not doing, but it has to come from within. And so inspiring courage for transformation really has to come from deep within us, that conviction. And that conviction has to be based on something. And for me, my values are important, very important. Yeah.
Wow, that's a very powerful perspective. I love it, right? You say from within, right? And then you're actually doing it really because you take it upon yourself. You decide that, I want to do something about it. I see there's a need to. The technology, the mental wellness of the young future generation. Very thankful that, you are doing something for our future generation. I personally have a nephew. He just turned 2 last month. Right, so I'm also worried. Right, he is so young. With all the technology, what's going to happen? So if we don't have people like you to, be doing something that is so impactful and meaningful, then it's kind of scary for the parents to be as well. Yeah. So thank you for doing that. Yeah. So let's go to the next question. While we say that courage is often what drives a real transformation, what is that pivotal moment, right, that courage has transformed how you approach challenges or create impact?
The pivotal moment for me
yes.
would be that point of time where I'm deeply convicted that I need to do more than what I was doing before. The job before I left public sector, I was doing campaigns. Actually, I was in the media sector. I mean, dealing with media, spending a lot of taxpayers' money running public campaigns. And I deeply believe that there's only so much we can do through Facebook ads and bus ads and MRT ads.
Yes.
we can reach a lot of people, but I don't think it can derive the transformation that would trigger people to say, am I using my technology well? Just looking at an ad may not be enough. But if we come to a conversation where we can hear different perspectives, when you hear the research, and then we tend to then have that opportunity to think more deeply, I think that makes the difference. Yeah, so the pivotal moment for me is really when I said, okay, enough is enough already. I think there is much more that needs to be done. And then I look left, look right, nobody else is doing it. Okay, never mind. I will do what I can in my personal capacity first, and then see where I can, how else the ripple can flow. Yeah.
Yes. So I really get what you mean, because I walk past the ads, and then, you just think to yourself, it's just awareness, and then you don't really trigger you to do anything except, like you said, how do we really create that meaningful impact that can inspire others to do the same, like what you are doing right now. Yes, but I think very often people are fearful of like failure. They're very scared. Like there's a very famous saying they say, just do it, right? But it's so scary. So how do you think that women leaders can overcome that fear of failure that will lead them to, so that they can lead with courage and purpose?
I think this topic about failure is very interesting. Somebody once told me, it's okay to fail, but don't be stupid. So which means, we do our best, but it should be a calculated move, right? We don't just jump into something feeling that we are able to do it just based on feelings. It should be a calculated move. Do I have the gifts and talents? Do I have the experience? Otherwise, I might be harming people I don't even know, right? So it needs to be thought out thoughtfully. So in my case, of course, I consulted first of all, of course, my husband, whether he's okay for me to take that bold step, because if we can't, we are one body, right? So therefore, I don't need his support. And of course, I consulted my children. It is going to take a different route. How would they feel about it? And at the time, my children were a little bit younger, so I think they were very appreciative of mommy being around a little bit more, with more flexibility. And I think there was a deep desire in me that somehow I think I should spend more time with my kids when they are teenagers, coming home to like at least a warm body and not just an empty home. So I consulted my family, I consulted my mentors to check like, hey, I have this nudge, is it something that I should do? I consulted, and of course because I'm a Christian, I pray, and I think it's a collective assessment that I think it's okay to jump, and not just not be stupid, but make a calculated move. And if I ever fail, at least I've tried it. if I fail, I can take it as a learning opportunity. What can I do differently if I want to continue in the track? So I've over time adjusted slowly, and now 8 years on, I kind of like have landed on what I need to do, and I have much more clarity compared to what I came out lah. So that courage, it's calculate. I mean, it's from within, yes, but that cannot be the only way. Become like wow, hero, so good, I want to do this, but it needs to be calculated and be realistic as well.
Understand. So cannot be foolish, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I hear two very interesting points that you have support from the family because you consult them.
Yeah.
You have that support backing, right? And also mentors.
Yes.
You spoke to mentors.
Yeah.
Right. So which brings me to the next questions. Basically, how can mentorship actually help to inspire courage and empower individuals to make that and create that transformative impact?
Yeah, I strongly believe in the idea of having mentors. I make sure that my children also have got older people who walk with them. Maybe not as old as me, as a mummy, but somebody who is a little bit older that they can look up to. And for me personally, I also make sure that I also make time to mentor others, because mentorship, it's a different relationship compared to friendship. It's different compared to classmates or relatives. A mentor has a perspective that perhaps none of these other existing relationships have. I am close but not so close. I can see certain blind spots that maybe people who are much closer to us may not see. Or they might have networks, or contacts that would be able to bring us from one point to another point that could open door for you. And I always encourage young people to have mentors. Actually, even for adults, I encourage mothers that I work with, actually, that we should be in a community and ideally have somebody who has journeyed earlier, a little bit more than us, kind of like to look up to what is possible, and at the same time, look back and look out for other younger moms that come, after us, to be able to, for us to share our good stories and the not so good stories with them. And out of that failure, in brackets, then they can also learn, through our life experiences.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. I really do think that having a mentor the right mentor can help to unlock that confidence, and they'll also help to provide the guidance, that, and also support that one person need. I once was actually told that you need two types of mentors. One is, like you say, a couple of steps in front of you, and then one that is maybe a little bit more way ahead of you, where the first one you can actually, like you say, look what's possible. She has done it already. It's doable. So I can continue to do it. And then the other one gives you that, that hope, right? That in the future, I will be able to be like that.
It's kind of like a visualization of what is possible. I've also heard of another perspective of mentorship. Because mentorship can be reverse mentorship. So what I mean is that I will encourage every young person, or even for us adults, right, to have two people that we look up to. So this is the mentorship that we talk about, whether is it just a few steps ahead or very far ahead. And then have two people that are peers who journey through things with you, right? They can see the blind spots that we don't see, and then we journey life together with them. And then we find two other younger ones to mentor, to pour out whatever experiences that we have, and then cultivate them and nurture them, through life. So I thought it's quite interesting, like a sphere, upwards, sideways, and downwards. I think it's very enriching.
Yes. I think that is it's really more, like you say, it's enriching, holistic, and you can see peers, interesting perspective, just now you shared, because they are at the same situation as you, that kind of fear, maybe, you can talk about it. Maybe your mentor tells you, it's okay, you will go through it, but then you're at that moment, it's hard for you to step, move that step. So having buddies with you, actually helps to, you can maybe do a deeper discussion, and the fears, you can talk about it, and then, like you said, reverse, right? And then you bring it, you teach the younger ones. Actually, you learn the most when you teach.
And they will have something to teach us also.
Exactly.
Right? The way that they see the world. Hey, I never saw that perspective before.
Yes. So my children are also my very good mentors, because they teach me to be patient.
Yeah, they teach me to be creative. I never knew I'm so creative until I had kids.
Yes. So you always have to outwit them, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes when they, come and try to be naughty, right? So you have to be creative and,
Persuasive.
persuasive.
Many
yes.
ways to be persuasive.
Yes. So thank you for sharing that point. And so let's move on to the next point. Basically, we want to know what motivated you to come and participate in this year's Her Courage Summit, and what does it mean to you?
Yeah, so I think supporting women is a big part of my heart as well. My work involves a lot with families, and mums are actually the heart of the families. I'm not saying that dads are not the heart, but mums are the one that tend to be more relational, So I do a lot of work to support mothers as well, especially in the mental well-being and leadership and how they view themselves. So when this opportunity came up, I thought, I can do what I can to support fellow women and mothers especially.
You have a very big heart.
No, I'm sure everyone has too. Yeah.
Yes, and so mothers, they wear so many hats, right? And a lot of time they put themselves the last, right? And it's important for them to feel supported. Yeah, so I still remember when my kids were younger, I think the same as you, I want to spend more time with them. So I decided that I want to be a stay-home mom, watch them grow, right? And then, but had I have, a community of stay-home moms or women or mentors, right, to help me through, I think the journey would have been a little bit better, or maybe much better, rather than, you learn from your own mistakes, right? So I really appreciate the things that you are doing. And of course, thank you so much for, agreeing to come and join our summit so that more women can actually they learn and we all can learn together.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to learning myself from fellow women.
Right. So, so for the last question that I'll be asking you would be one piece of advice, right? So about courage and making an impact that you can give to the next generation. What would that be? I
think it starts with, again, knowing ourselves. Self-awareness is so important. Awareness about what? Awareness about our values. What is important to us? What is the purpose of life? I think understanding or having answers to life's big questions, like where do I come from, what is the meaning of life, what is right and wrong, and there are ways to think about it. And when we are seeing the world clearly, we have a purpose and meaning in life, then the courage will be meaningful. That we are not just foolishly being courageous. Stealing something also requires courage, right? But we want to be able to be courageous for the right things, things that are meaningful and purposeful and useful to society. So that self-awareness of like, what am I here for? What am I good at? Or what am I willing to learn? Those things, it takes a lifetime to learn, I guess. I am still learning about what I'm good at, but I think it's that constant learning, lifelong learning, that willingness to be humble, for mentors to correct us, for friends to sharpen us, that willingness to spend time with younger ones, and willingness to try something even though it's different, nobody is doing it, and be willing to learn from failures in bracket. It's not a failure unless we always do the same wrong things.
That's true.
If it's not a failure, if we fail at something and then we learn something out of that failure so that the next time you try it, you get better at it, then actually it's not a failure. It's actually a stepping stone to success.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think understanding and seeing the world clearer really makes life much more meaningful and purposeful for ourselves and for other people.
Thank you. That's a really powerful takeaway. And I also agree that, you need to have that value that anchors you, and that sets the foundation of your life purpose, how you become a person. And it also helps you to decide, make decisions, right? Like you say, don't make foolish decisions, right? You may have the courage, right? But you need to do the right things. Yeah. So thank you so much for today. So, but for our last segment, we have delighted to announce our partnership with PSB Academy, where we collaborate closely and enabling students to learn from our guests. Yeah, so I have with me a student representative who will be engaging in a conversation with you. Yes, so welcome to the show. So could you please introduce yourself and share what motivated you to enroll at the PSB Academy?
Hello, we are students from PSB Academy currently pursuing a Bachelor of Communication. We are also part of the Her Courage 2025 team. We choose PSB Academy because of its strong industry connections, hands-on learning approach, and experienced lecturers. Before we wrap up, we have a few final questions to gain deeper insights into Her Courage 2025 and leadership development. As someone with extensive experience in leadership development, what advice would you give young women who aspire to break barriers in male-dominated industries?
I feel like what I was sharing just now about understanding who we are on the inside still remains, whether we are in a male-dominated situation or in a regular situation. I think being comfortable with who we are, knowing who we are, and to be able to appreciate that I am uniquely a woman. It doesn't matter that I have to be exactly the same as men, because women are unique. And when we are comfortable with our uniqueness, knowing what we want in life, it can be different from what males want. And it's okay. For me, I believe that it's okay to be different. Knowing ourselves and having that confidence, once that is so entrenched in ourselves, it will flow out to whichever environment that we are in, whether is it male dominated or not male dominated. So having that confidence, I think, is first and foremost the most important. We don't have this attitude. I would encourage us to not have the attitude that I need to be exactly the same as men, and it's okay for me to be different because I'm a woman. And when people can appreciate the attributes of what a woman can bring to the table, focus on that rather than focus on I need to be this one, I need to be like that, right? Just focus on who we are, be comfortable, right? And out of that flows our action and our speech. That itself, people should be able to see our true ability, and then that would be a more natural way of making and adding value wherever we are.
So, well, that's a wrap. Thank you very much, Carol. And so for those of you who are tuning in, and if you are interested in today's conversation, so don't forget to like and subscribe our for more empowering stories. And if you'd like to connect with Carol, check out the links in our episode description. And thank you for joining, and until the next time, keep leading with courage and making a difference.
Encourage every young person, or even for us adults, right, to have two people that we look up to. So this is the mentorship that we talk about, whether is it just a few steps ahead or very far ahead, and then have two people that are peers who journey through things with you, right? They can see the blind spots that we don't see, and then we journey life together with them. And then we find two other younger ones to mentor, to pour out whatever experiences that we have, and then cultivate them and nurture them